wireless mic.
Yeah.
Don't see much point in that.
No, this is the best vantage point in the ground too, so I don't see why I wouldn't.
Yeah, so I think it's good for her, it's good for you. And also, I can leave this plugged in as well.
All right, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Valley Road for this Football Tasmania Statewide Cup round of 16 fixture between the Devonport Strikers and Taroona FC. This is the replay of a game of just 2 weeks ago. These teams met here and the Devonport Strikers triumphant on that occasion 5-0. We're looking to see what changes are in the lineups today. We are moments away from a start. A beautiful day here at Valley Road for football. The sun is shining. It's a very light breeze, 20 degrees. Couldn't ask for better conditions. The pitch looks in good condition as well. We are set for a fantastic afternoon of football here at Valley Road. My name is Camille Douglas and I'm looking forward to bringing you all the action here from this round of 16 Women's Statewide Cup Football Tasmania fixture. As the players line up, they'll shake hands or bump fists. An intriguing battle. Not often you find two teams playing each other in a matter of weeks. The same opposition. What changes will be made, what tactical switches will be put in place. Taroona have found it difficult in these first few weeks of the season, as these two teams couldn't have had any more contrasting fortunes thus far. The Devonport Strikers sit atop the WSL while the Taroona sit at the bottom of the ladder. Devonport Strikers 2 wins from 2. And Taroona yet to score a victory. A 5-0 loss to Devonport in round 1, followed by a 10-0 loss to South Hobart last week. In contrast, the Devonport Strikers victors against Taroona and then 2-1 winners last time out against Launceston United. The Devonport Strikers do enter this one as heavy favourites. What will Taroona have learned from their loss here 2 weeks ago? Can they make the changes necessary to trouble the Devonport Strikers here today? As both teams gather in their huddles, an absorbing 90 minutes of football ahead of us here at Valley Road. And in what looms as an interesting call, the Devonport Strikers have made one change, or 2 changes, it appears, from their previous fixture against Taroona, with Capel on the left wing and Foot on the right wing coming in place of Smith and Sims. Sims, of course, scoring a hat-trick in that 5-0 victory for Devonport, finding herself on the bench today, but the skill of Lucy Foot is too hard to be ignored. She returns from injury today and she will be a real weapon for the Devonport Strikers on this right wing. And we're underway here at Valley Road. The Devonport Strikers last time out played a very patient brand of football, building up from the back, trying to play through the thirds. And this long switch from King, this long diagonal, was a common feature of their fixture just 2 weeks ago. And looking to unleash that same weapon here as throw goes in from Sullivan to Foot. Cuts back, plays to Sullivan, comes inside to Hardy. Comes back to White, who's had a great season in midfield so far. King and Bigwell have been controlling games at the back for the Devonport Strikers. Comes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Mitchell and now to Emmett. An unchanged back line for the Devonport Strikers and an unchanged midfield. Just the 2 changes at the top of the field from the last time these 2 teams met. Not a great clearance from the Taroona keeper. The chip from distance. Knight doesn't trouble Batavian goals. And Fujiara comes forward for Taroona, trying to unleash. Ball out to the wing, doesn't find a target, and it'll be a throw-in for Devonport Strikers. Thrown from Sullivan into the feet of Foot. Bidwell. And Foot trying to play a 1-2 with Hardy, doesn't come off, but it will be a Devonport Strikers throw once again. Maddie Payne leading the line for Devonport Strikers. She scored also in this fixture a couple of weeks ago. Knight, the goal scorer on both occasions last week for the Devonport Strikers 2-1 victory over Launceston United. King with the diagonal out wide to Capel. She controls it well. She looks inside for the run of Foot, who's unleashed behind the defence. South Hobart managed to get in behind Taroona on regular occasions last week, and that'll be something Taroona need to address today. And it's a free kick, it seems, to Taroona. Fujura will take. Looking to feet, and then it's cleared out of bounds. Trying to play short. Not quite working out for Taroona. Sullivan back to Bidwell. Looks to switch through King. Turns away, and then the diagonal again, this time out to Capel. Running it very close to the offside, and the linesman does flag on that occasion. A couple of minutes played here at Valley Road. As we mentioned, the Devonport Strikers strong favourites entering into this fixture based on the fortunes of the two teams thus far, and the result 5-0 in favour of Devonport 2 weeks ago. Ball comes forward over the head of Walker. Cleared long. Trapped down. Emmett tries to deal with it. She'll come back to King. And then King clipping it forward to the feet of Knight, who lays it down for White. Bounces off her knee. McGinn tidies up for Taroona. And Ashby then from Taroona into the feet finds Walker. The Devonport Strikers clear. Ashby then inside, Walker clipping it over to the wing, doesn't keep the ball in play, be a throw for the Devonport Strikers. Taroona playing a very high line defensively. Inside their own half, they're back four at the moment. The trick with the Devonport Strikers to find feet and then unleash plays in behind. Foot's first time pass gets to Sullivan. Back to Hardy, shields it well from Walker. Gets a little scrape on the back of the ankle from the boot. Not deliberate, I would suggest. More accidental, a little agricultural. A free kick nonetheless. McGinn receiving some instructions from the sideline as the ball goes long now for Sullivan. The games so far this year for Sullivan, the youngster at right back. She's done an immense amount of work up and down that wing on the two games against Launceston United last week and Taroona the week before. Called to do the same again today. A little tactical nuance seems to be whoever's playing on that right wing for this Women's State League Devonport Strikers team tend to tuck in and then leave that space down the wing for Sullivan. Fujura throws in towards the feet of Walker off foot. Foot wins it back. Sullivan has it now. She looks inside but finds only McGinn. McGinn shows good composure and she plays it out wide towards James. The only goal scorer of the season thus far for Taroona. Scoring in pre-season and a 6-1 loss to Kingborough. And in fact, next weekend when we return to WSL action, that will be Taroona's next assignment up against a free-scoring Kingborough. As Bidwell runs forward into the midfield, a bit like her brother Charles does at the moment for the men's NPL team. Cleared away though. Hardy heads it. Bidwell lays it back to King. King finds Payne's feet. She turns, looks to play foot in behind and blocked. The ball comes back to Mitchell and finds Sullivan, who has plenty of space out here on the right wing. Foot just drifting off her defender. She comes inside to Hardy. Hardy then finds Knight. It's deflected and it's going to fall in for Foot, who's going to have a great chance here. 1-on-1 with the keeper. The flag comes up. The referee doesn't see or ignores the flag, perhaps because it was deflected off the defender, so Foot therefore couldn't be offside. Central referee ignoring the flag of the linesman. And Taruna come out for Futura. Feet of Lane. Turned over though, and Hardy now. Cuts inside. Has to come back and build up again. Couldn't release the pass in White. Now it's Holly Emmett. She finds the feet of Capel. Haven't seen too much action out there on the left wing. Capel tries to beat a couple. Can't get past Ashby though, and through to play out then through McGinn into Walker. In midfield, can she find a pass that will unleash an opportunity for Taruna? King tidies up, steps over, turns the other way, plays the outside of the right, up to the feet. Capel, back to White, to King. Triangle there for the Devonport Strikers. Capel turns away from that, keeps it in play. And a long chase then. King will go back and cleared long. Up to the halfway line. White strong with the head. Smith tries to deal with it. Foot onto her quickly, the step over, shimmies, squares it towards Payne, who can't put the finishing touch to it. The ball came across maybe slightly behind her, clips off her heel and rolls harmlessly wide of the Taruna goal. The first real chance, would say, for the Devonport Strikers, hints perhaps of offside, but either way you look at it, the chance goes begging for the Strikers. It did take the Strikers nearly an entire half to break through in the previous fixture against Taruna. Taruna will certainly be looking to build upon that today. Short, defeat of McGinn, playing in the 6 today. Taruna inside then. Bit of time then as Taruna build up from the back. Trying to find Ashby, but doesn't hit the target. Capel comes inside then. Foot, who can she release? Going to have to play careful offside line here. The ball goes in behind. No one was quite on the same page as Foot there as she looked to slip one in between centre back and full back. And they'll build up again from the back here at Taruna. The captain, Graham Smith, wearing the armband today. It's the feet of Lane, but turns over then. Hardy, tackled by Walker. Hassling, Walker physical there with Hardy. The referee letting it go. Devonport look to unleash that diagonal ball again from King, who finds Capel in a mountain of space. She's just got Ashby to beat, but the linesman flags offside there. The Devonport Strikers, you're going to have to be careful. Taruna are playing a very high line, but it is a dangerous game. It only takes one defender to be out of sync, and then it easily becomes an opportunity for the Devonport Strikers to get someone in behind. Taruna favouring this ball into McGinn, but Hardy pressures her off it. And then Knight, scored a brace last week. Looks to play in pain, doesn't get it right. Ashby tidies up. The feet of Batavi then comes to Lane. She tries to turn, tackled by Sullivan. Lane tried to find McGinn, but is flicked by Knight. Payne then has 3 to beat. Can she find some help? She does come back to Hardy, who comes all the way back then to Bidwell, who steps into midfield before turning. And King then, another long ball. This one looks to be onside. Can Sullivan retrieve the ball before it goes out of play? She does keep it in. She's at the byline. Can she cut it back? Whips the ball into the box. Decent ball. Cleared away by the skipper for Taruna, Esther Smith. It will be a corner, the first of the day for the Devonport Strikers. Most of the possession thus far for Devonport. Taruna have tried to be patient and play when they've got it. Been caught on it a few times. Devonport a chance to put one into the box. Knight stands over it. Ball comes in towards near post, headed by Capel. It's a scramble. It doesn't seem to have crossed the line. And the referee has paid the goal. It was a real goalmouth scramble. it might have come off Bidwell or White, perhaps. Everyone running up to White, so she might have got the last touch as the ball bobbled around the box. Some clearances might have even come off her back, the clearance. The replay will be able to tell. But I think we'll notch that one down to White, scoring her first goal of the season. Devonport Strikers lead 1-0, and a mountain to climb here then for Taroona. Taking their previous results into consideration, they'll need to turn this around quickly if they want to take anything from the Statewide Cup fixture. But we know cup games, they're notorious for upsets. Taroona just need to find the right passage of play a couple of times, and they'll trouble as Nixon wins the ball back and then finds James, who looks to play it in for Taroona, but King mops up at the back. She sees it out. Goal kick. Devonport Strikers. And short, as is the fad these days in football. Pep Guardiola changing football, not just in the Premier League, but globally. Everyone plays the ball short now. As King switches again to Sullivan, back to Bidwell. Taroona pressing. Can they win it high up the pitch here? Give themselves a chance to score. McGinn does win it high, but then really clips a pass without looking who it was towards, and now a chance for the Strikers to counter-attack. And Taroona sitting there high line, but Knight can't find the penetrating pass. She does win it back though. Now she gets it out onto her right foot. Capel flicks the first time. Payne looked to be offside. We'll see the linesman's flag in a moment if that's the case. The linesman does flag it though. Payne was 3-1-1. Payne does finish, but the linesman flag was up, and I think you'll find the linesman on replay had that one correct. Payne looked to be a step offside. Danger signs though for Taroona. James then lays it back to Ashby. She looks to go up the line for Taroona, tackled well by Emmett. James will retrieve it. She comes back and they'll go all the way back to the keeper. And the clearance is higher than it was long. It goes over the head of foot, but she has time to get it under. Comes back to Hardy and then White. And the Strikers will reset. King into the feet of Hardy, and they'll switch out through Bidwell. Sullivan presents wide. Bidwell steps inside. And there's the ball in between fullback and centre back. Can Sullivan get to it first and cut it in? Well read by Smith, and she comes up towards Lane on the wing. Lane up towards Walker. She touches around Bidwell. Promising for Taroona. But the ball towed forward from Walker only as far as foot. Lane and foot collide. Lane knocking foot over. Shove strength from Lane. Esther Smith tidies up. Ashby put under pressure, needed a call from a teammate there. Now Capel has got it. She slips it to Payne, who's onside this time. Can she get past Esther Smith? She has. She has a chance to unleash the shots, but puts it wide of the mark. Taroona survive. Another foray forward from the Devonport Strikers. The score remains 1-0. Payne put through Esther Smith, couldn't catch her. She steadied herself. Pulled the pin where moments earlier from an offside position she'd buried that into the goal on that occasion. Just slicing the ball slightly and causing it to go wide of Taroona's goal. And the score stays 1-0. Devonport attack again. Hardy, what a lovely ball through to Foot. It's a bit wide though. Foot's going to have to cut it back. She does, but it bounces back to her. Foot still has it, top of the box. Hit hard. Well over the top from last week's goal scorer, Whitney Knight, scoring a brace last week. One from distance, from further out than that went through the goalkeeper's hands. On this occasion, didn't get a knee and head over it. And it's gone up and over the bar. 1-0 it is to the Devonport Strikers on this beautiful day here at Valley Road for this Football Tasmania Women's Statewide Cup round of 16 fixture. And clearance from the goalkeeper straight at Payne, who has time to steady, cannot punish. Chalk that down as another opportunity for the Devonport Strikers. One could argue that it stayed at 0-0 so long last time these two teams met because of some good goalkeeping and some wayward finishing. And a combination of those two rearing their head again here today at Valley Road. Payne offside again there. Might be the 4th or 5th time Payne's been called offside today. Rivaling Darwin Nunez for frequency there of offside flags. Into the feet of McGinn. It's the way they're playing out today, Taruna. Esther Smith. Jura tries to cut past foot, doesn't get past her, but will earn the throw-in. Into feet. Sullivan wins out. Foot hooks it into Fujura, throwing for the Devonport Strikers. Taruna really need Nixon, Walker, McGinn to get a foothold in this game, to begin dictating how it's being played. The long switch out again from King, the flag up again. Devonport Strikers going for a record number of offside flags here. The high line of Taruna paying dividends thus far as they've caught the Strikers in the trap a number of occasions. The Strikers have got in behind, but they haven't heavily punished them yet. Red that time as the ball came into the feet of Nixon by White. Releases Capel on that left wing. Two weeks ago, Otavi was the hero here, made some tremendous saves for Taruna that kept the scoreline from being much higher than 5-0. Keeper here already today for Taruna, having made a number of saves as well. Bidwell then comes forward, releases Foot, who's got time and space on the wing. Can she pick a target? Does well to find Payne, just misses her. Cleared from Ashby only as far as Hardy. Miscontrols now with Fujura. As Hardy for company. Bidwell, Hardy, first time football from the Devonport Strikers, lovely as a triangle and then releasing back to Foot. White, Bidwell, King, space and time, well there'll be a diagonal coming here. Every time King has that space and time, she's unleashing that diagonal in behind to the wingers. Well, particularly on this right side as well to Sullivan as she pushes high up the pitch. Knight ducks inside, time to pick a pass towards Foot. Ambition and idea was there, the technique not quite to deliver on that occasion for Knight. Otavi goes short again, this time not into McGinn. Comes up towards Nixon. Finds White instead, headed inside. White crashes through, the ball cleared across the top of the box. An audacious attempt at a flick. The idea was there from Foot, a flick towards Payne, but was controlled and just go out for another goal kick. Some interesting goal kicks thus far from Taruna. Put themselves in a bit of trouble on a couple of occasions. Other times they've done well to try and play out. And here they try to play out again. Short. Then up towards James, who's tackled by White and appears to have certainly come off second best in that collision. Still down on a knee. No sign of movement from James there, a bit worrying for Taruna. The Devonport Strikers play on. foot then. Back to King. Diagonal coming. Lane ducks out of the way, sees it out for a throw in. And the official pauses the game. James to get some treatment. Still down on all haunches. It's King called to the sideline for a bit of instruction.
Stop drink. Have a drink, please. Someone. Sorry, not in my house.
A warm day for you players here coming to get a drink. At the halfway stage or so of this round of 16 Football Tasmania Women's Statewide Cup fixture. Devonport Strikers lead only 1-0. They've created the bulk of the chances, had the bulk of the play, having real joy on occasions getting in behind, particularly wide. This Taroona defence, ball was unleashed from King in the back line out towards Capel or Sullivan or Foot on the right wing. Seen a couple of changes for both teams from the 11s that started 2 weeks ago. The way the game is playing out, one might imagine the end result might be similar. Strikers kicking towards, we will call the Valley Road end. Usual procedure would be for the Strikers to kick away from that end to begin with and then come home in the second half towards the supporters in front of the club rooms in the second half of the Valley Road end, but switched it around today. Capel has it out wide, tackled by Ashby. It looks like it'll go out for a corner for the Devonport Strikers. No flag. The official has pointed to the corner. Not quite kept in by Ashby. Walker played it right back 2 weeks ago when these sides met. Walker stepping into midfield this time. Ashby at right back. Ball in again from Knight, falls into the box. Chaos pursues. White looks to push someone over. Comes to the top of the box there with Payne, and on the volley, skews it wide. Walker getting a knock on the head, just a bit of an assessment from the official, asking if she's okay. All seems fine. But we do continue to play here with Kingborough a player short. James off the pitch getting an assessment, so Taroona, I should say. Playing with 10 men as if this assignment wasn't hard enough for them already, having been beaten here handily 2 weeks ago. The throw in towards Hardy. Cleared away. Sounds like they are making a sub. They've assessed James. She won't be continuing on today. And a change is made.
Sorry. I'm number 10.
Always a shame to see an injury cause an early substitution here, and that is the case for Taroona. Forced into an early change. And we return to 11 against 11. Sullivan with a throw-in deep in attack for the Strikers. She'll come back to Bidwell, unmarked. Challenged by Lane. Bidwell doesn't quite get the foot on it she wanted, and that's going to roll out of play. Be another goal kick. Through Graham Smith, toe toward Lane. Sullivan steps in. McGinn heads down, finds Lane, then up towards Walker to Bidwell, bounces back off Lane, and White then slows things down and comes back. Very composed on the football. Turn from King, switches to Emmett. Back to Mitchell. Hasn't been called into a save yet today. Bidwell to the feet. And the rider finds time. Ball in behind. Sullivan chases. Otavia all the way out. Reading play fantastically, and it's going to have to scoot back to her goal. Unless an early shot come from the Strikers. Otavia still tracking back. Can White pull the trigger? She rounds one. Rounds Graham Smith. Gets to the byline. Cuts it back, but shoots straight at Otavia. And return to her goal just in time to protect her goal from that effort from White. Number 10 might be Gale this week for Taroona. Graham Smith looks to dribble the ball out of play. It comes to then Payne, who slips in foot, attempts to finish, but it's going to come to the back post, and Knight's going to make it 2 for the Devonport Strikers. Graham Smith losing possession. The ball cutting to Payne, who played it through for foot. Who cut it back for Knight, who scores again this week, making it 2-0 to the Devonport Strikers. Some great football. The Devonport Strikers pouncing on errors from Taroona, and some skillful play. A one-touch cross and a one-touch finish. Devonport Strikers showing some class here on this beautiful day at Valley Road. 2-0 it stands, and after a 10-0 defeat at the hands of South Hobart last week, Taroona will have already come here with low confidence, and the 2-0 start here won't improve that for them. Nixon looks to drive through the defence of the Devonport Strikers, doesn't get far. Ashby on the overlap court. Now driving forward, Ashby looking for a target inside the box. No one home. Mitchell wander over and retrieve the ball, take her time. All she's been called on to do so far today is play the ball out for the Strikers, be there as a support for King and Bidwell when needed. White receives the ball, she's caught. This is Taroona's best chance to catch the Strikers as they play the ball out. Turn it over, attack on the goals. Can they squeeze up high, force the Strikers into some errors as they play the ball out? Sullivan then, foot with a great run. Bobbles a bit, and her first touch gets away from her a bit. Graham, the captain, does well to come over. Foot putting her under a lot of pressure, and then taking the safest course of action there in the end, the captain, putting the ball out of play. A flick from foot, down to Payne. Payne back to Sullivan. He's got Lane for company, she comes back. The Strikers look to switch. King finds Knight, drives into the box. There's going to be another chance here. And Tavi does well. The strike from distance from Knight. She's already scored a couple from distance, and that one troubling Atavi, forcing the keeper to palm away from a goal, and another corner for the Devonport Strikers. And these balls into the box have caused a bit of havoc, and Taroona have struggled to clear them. An opportunity for 3-0 here for Devonport. A healthy crowd in today. Support the Women's State League team, the Men's State League team travelling away, which will have taken a few supporters away. Still plenty here cheering on the girls. The ball into the box. This one doesn't get over the front post. It's hit in the face and then volleyed over from King. And it looks like the ball's headed away and cleared by Ashby. Might have been cleared away from the face instead of the forehead, and that's just stinging the eyes and nose a little bit there, I'd say, of Ashby. She'll just get a bit of attention, check that everything's all right. She's going to have to go off the field of play. And the Devonport Strikers take their next corner though. Interesting setup from the Devonport Strikers. A lot of players in the 6-yard box area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not much of a run up for many of them, but they are putting themselves in a dangerous position for the ball to land. Flick from Hardy, not cleared well, and it's going to fall to Payne, who stabs home from close range. And Taroona a little bit their own worst enemy there again, as Payne was on hand to put home the attempted clearance for Jura, which instead of clearing only went across a 6-yard box and found Payne right in front of goals with the easiest of tasks to volley home side-footed with the keeper nowhere to be seen. The Devonport Strikers make it 3-0. The first time ball from Emmett into the feet of Capel there, but well tackled. Emmett now into the feet of White, plays it back. King will look to switch this, goes down the line instead. Perhaps a bit heavy, making Atavi the favourite for this one. Capel chases, Atavi clears only as far as White. The goal empty, Foot tries to toes it out towards Sullivan, doesn't get there. Lane. Sullivan first, the call of settle comes, and the Devonport Strikers control the ball so well as they do, playing out from the back line here. Such skillful players, King and Bidwell. Both have played up the pitch in the past. They definitely have the capacity to do so, but can control the game for the Strikers from that vantage, and they have plenty of other attacking talent as well. Sullivan gets it, she drives then down towards the byline. Can she beat Fujira? Fujira does well to come across, toes it away, and that'll go out for a corner ball. The linesman is flagged for a goal kick. Looked to have come off Fujira, but maybe it was deflected. Be a goal kick. Just about on every occasion here, Taroona have played this short to the feet of McGinn or to the two centre halves. He's tried to build up from the back. And same again. Back to Atavi, then who has to clear. Good attack on the ball from Emmett to White. Cleared away, only as far as Emmett. He flicks down to White, who controls on a knee, then takes one touch. Slows play down, coming back to King again. King steps inside. The space out wide for Sullivan. The ball attempted to be slipped in behind to Payne, who needs to get back off onside then. Capel then a first time pass to Payne. Looks like she's onside this time. Payne at the penalty spot. What a save from Otavi. That could be another save of the week. With a goal at her beckoning, Payne striding through from the first time flick from Capel from out wide. Otavi then forced into a save low to her left. A reaction save. Payne looked dead certain to add to her goal tally for today, but not to be. Otavi at the double there, producing another fantastic save. Nearly identical in many ways to the save that won her save of the week here 2 weeks ago. Keeping the scoreline at 3-0. Call. Ashby returns to the field of play after that knock. Ball back out to Naida, has a second chance to put this one into the box and deflected again. These head knocks becoming frequent here for Taroona. More attention needed here for Taruna, adding injury to insult. I might dare say 3-0 scoreline. The captain this time holding the side of her head. An uncompromising first half here from the Devonport Strikers as we have another halt in play. I imagine we will have plenty of added time given stoppages for James, who was unfortunately had to leave the field of play after her knock, after a tackle with White. Stoppage for Ashby after she was struck in the face by the ball, and similarly here for Graham Smith. Not going according to plan for Taruna today. Alistair Rollington in charge of the Devonport Strikers women here today, with Tom Ballantyne down in Hobart with the men's NPL team. So they take on the Newtown Eagles. And Rollington will be very pleased with what he's seen so far as Graham Smith gingerly makes her way off the pitch. Taruna could be forced into another substitution here. But we'll forge on with 10 players again. They've played a healthy chunk of this first half with just 10 players. Nothing going according to plan here for Taruna. A long trip down the highway to concede those first 3 half goals and have 3 first half injuries. Ashby back on the field and right back into the thick of it though. Great to see. King then comes back to Bidwell. Sullivan with space, providing width. Foot doing well to find the pockets of space in the half space. Lovely idea from Foot. Gave Sullivan the eyes. Not quite on the same page though, and the ball cleared by Taruna. McGinn looks like she's stepped back into the back line to cover for the absence of their captain, Graham Smith. McGinn holding midfielder. Foot looks to cut inside. Payne then strong into the box, and it is a procession here at Valley Road as Knight picks up another goal. That makes it 4-0 for the Devonport Strikers. Payne doing well to keep that one in play, cutting it back, and then arriving at the right time, in the right place, with the right finish, was Knight. 4-0. And the afternoon gets even longer for Taruna. Not helped by unfortunate injuries, and I think you'll find at least 2 or 3 of these goals have scored while they've had 10 players on the pitch. Certainly the last 2. McGinn nearly caught in possession. A lovely bit of footwork sees her pass Foot. Fujira driving then. Foot chasing her. A long 30-yard run. Doesn't get it. Fujira does well to Lane. Has Bidwell for company. Fujira then finds Walker. Walker then rounds Hardy. Fujira with a bit of time and space. Promising for Taruna. Cuts inside. Can she get a ball into a dangerous area? Then into Ashby. Stepped into midfield. Down to Lane. Walker from distance. The best bit of play from Taruna. Some lovely interchange of passing in left midfield there, showing what they are capable of, and that's within the 10 players on the pitch then. Hardy, a picture of composure in the middle of the pitch. Knight. Capel, Emmett, wayward pass, Walker. Down to Nixon, into the feet of Lane, bounces up, did it hit her arm? No whistle. Emmett then favourite to clear here. Hands go up, it's going to be a Taruna throw on the right wing, a promising couple of minutes here for Taruna. As suggesting Graham Smith probably still getting some treatment down here. At the touchline, hopeful of getting her back onto the pitch. Taruna, the captain and talisman. into Ashby, cleared away. Taruna all of a sudden a step faster. Scooped ball from Taruna there, not quite happening. Emmett drives forward, nearly the furthest forward for the Devonport Strikers from left back. A flashing run, a bit of a push. And it looks like she's won the throw there, an excellent effort from Emmett, who plays with great intensity and strength. In that left back position into White then, intercepted by Walker. Marcel King. Hardy, lovely ball, Knight for a hat-trick. She's got foot on and squares it. Surely it is 5. Foot scores on her return from injury to make it 5. Knight very unselfish, could have gone herself. Many would, but she didn't. Unselfishness, and finds Foot. And Atavi desperately tracking back across her goal to try and prevent the unpreventable. And Foot made no mistake from close range. That is 5-0. And this is a contest is all but over. Very difficult circumstances for these Taruna girls, doing all they can perhaps to get to half-time. With Graham Smith off the park, they've conceded another one while playing at 10 men, or women. And forced into another substitution. 3 injuries, 2 substitutions here. Taruna limping their way into half-time. They played a huge chunk of the first half with 10 players on the pitch. The Devonport Strikers will be looking to now add insult to injury. 5 in this first half. Can they better South Hobart's 10 against Taruna last week? They've been relentless so far, and I can't see that changing. Taruna will need all hands on deck. To avoid another devastating loss. Capel, a bit of a pull there. The home fans sound their displeasure. But to the naked eye, it certainly looked like there was an infringement there. Ball into Nixon, sneaks past White. Nixon driving forward now. Tackled by Emmett. Long throw. King bundled into and bundled over. Gets up a little gingerly as first half time ticks away. 5-0 to the Devonport Strikers. Back to Mitchell. To Bidwell. Foot tucking inside from that right wing. Oh, what a pass from Bidwell. Sullivan not quite reading it. Bidwell seeing the space, slipping it through. Splitting defenders, but nothing comes from it. And it will be Taruna's football. Fujura to the head of lane. Foot attacks it hardest. Gets there first, heads it out of play. Fujura up the line. Foot. Deja vu. Have a few moments of calm here as we move towards half-time. Foot this time heads inboard. Payne, a lovely flick towards Foot. Foot leaves it behind, but she wins it back from Fujura. Now has the chance to drive in. Can't beat 3 as the cover comes across from Nixon, and it will be another corner for the Devonport Strikers. Nice goals and assists already for her today. Can she add to that tally? She stands over another corner. The Devonport Strikers once again loading the 6-yard box. There or thereabouts. Over to the near post. Capel then comes all the way back tonight. Sets it on the left foot, dinks it in. White flicks to the back post. The first time attempt to volley from Bidwell. Comes to Gale, comes back to Bidwell. What a save from Matavia, but again, Payne scores to make it 6 from the, again inside the 6-yard box. The Devonport Strikers unstoppable here. 6, Payne scoring her goals from a combined distance, I would dare say, of about 5 yards. She has a couple. And dejected, Taroona walk back up to the halfway line. Hanging on to half time, I dare say, as Taroona plays. The whistle won't be too far away, but at 6. This is worrying signs for Taroona. Played a lot of the half with 10 players. Down 2 of their best in James and their captain Esther Smith, who's been forced off through injury. Coming to the Portress, one of the most difficult places to come for any team in Tasmanian football. Down 6-0, they're going to have to dig very deep at half time. As Fujira controls, tries to come back to McGinn, but Payne wins out. Deemed to have infringed. The whistle blows. Devonport Strikers players voicing their disappointment, not satisfied with 6, want to make it 7. Imposing signs for the second half. The Devonport Strikers have bettered their tally of 5. They scored 2 weeks ago in this fixture. 6 already here in the first half. Comes off the shin of Lane and out. Sullivan to throw. We will, as I said, have a little bit of added time here in the first half due to those injury stoppages for Ashby, James and Esther Smith. Chance for Taroona. Nixon into the box. Mitchell keeps it in. Picks it up. As Sullivan uses Sullivan. Sullivan touches and drives forward. Foot presents inside. Lane does well to put her under pressure. Sullivan trying to steal 7 yards there. Wanders back and now takes the throw. Back to Bidwell, pressed by Ashby. Changes in formation all across the pitch for Taroona, as it was all hands on deck at the end of that first half. Even from the starting 11, a changed outfit positionally. In terms of personnel, 6-0 it is to the Devonport Strikers. Taroona with some soul searching to do at half time. The message I'm sure will be from Ollington at half time to the Devonport Strikers: more of the same, please. We leave you for this half-time break with a dominant Devonport Strikers performance against a Taroona side low on confidence. Let's see how the second half pans out. We'll see you 15 minutes time.
It's hard work. You right for sunscreen?
Yeah, it's looking for trouble.
I've put something in the car, do I?
Nah, it's alright. Actually, I've got a long sleeve top in the car. One over the car. Tracking up the very score of goals. Too many pictures. 2 for Payne. 1 for White. 1 for 2 for... That's all right.
to track down.
Oh, thanks.
And we're back out then for the second half of this Football Tasmania Women's Statewide Cup round of 16 fixture between the Devonport Strikers and Taroona FC. The fixture all but decided after a dominant 6-0 performance in the first half by the Devonport Strikers. The Strikers have made a change at half-time, giving the returning Lucy Foot a break. And young Grace Sims, who scored a hat-trick last time out against Taroona, coming in. Bit of a shift in positions then perhaps as well, with Sims playing up at the 9 and Payne playing on the right wing. Tarvey then looking to play out, gets it forward to Sims, but she was offside. The flag went up. The referees ignored it. The players have stopped. The players carried on. White Strong makes the tackle. Emmett King. And then Bidwell. So it's 6-0, this fixture all but decided. Simply the formality of 45 minutes of football to play to decide the result. Or to finalise the result. The Devonport Strikers in a commanding position. And I know it's Easter weekend and miracles happen at Easter, but I think asking a little bit too much for Taroona to turn around this 6-0 deficit. Taroona making a good start here. They walk in there wearing the armband. Missing that one, and King puts her foot through it and clears it. Sims to chase. Ashby back to it first. Comes back to Atavi. Chops under the clearance a little bit, but it works out. Ashby then tried to find McGinn, but turns it over to Hardy. He comes out wide to Sullivan, who covers a lot of ground up and down on that right wing for the Devonport Strikers. A ball into the box. Sims has it. Tackled well by Ashby. Puts it out of play. Payne in the byline, looks to put it in, bounced off the back of Ashby, a corner for the Devonport Strikers. Knight, suspect will wander over and take this one. Taroona fielding very much a makeshift line up here. Substitutions forced to James Graham Smith. Take the time over. Knight delivers into the box. Doesn't get it into play. Tavi will take the goal kick. So it looks like for Taroona, Gale at right back, Esther Smith and Ashby at centre back. McGinn at the 6, Fujara at left back. Lane will be out in the left wing and she gets it now. In midfield, plays it forward. The Devonport Strikers win it through Bidwell. Ashby does well to shield that one and takes a quick throw in down the line towards Fujiwara. King comes across, thumps it high. Higher than it is long. The ball bounces. They let it bounce. Sims gets the first head to it. Liverpool strikers look to reclaim possession as Hardy comes back. Then to Bidwell. Then to Emmett. Capel providing width. Decisive pass into Knight, who takes a lovely touch and turn and a delicious left-footed curling ball to Capel, and the linesman quick on the trigger with the flag. Very close, that one. It's relatively slow first 20 minutes of the Devonport strike because they didn't really pile the goals on until the second part of that first half. They were caught offside on a number of occasions early. That slowed in the second half as those offsides became goals instead. Feed of McGinn. Back to Esther Smith. Comes back to Atavi. James Smith has the feed of Walker. Comes to Gale. Stolen from her by Capel. Pocket picked for Emmett there, but retrieved by King. Into White. Then Capel again tries the first time ball. Thumps it into Gale. White tries to play Capel in behind. Gale does well to find Atavi, who clears long. King first to it. Hardy best placed. White with time. Comes back to Emmett. Call comes from Bidwell to switch it. Pressure comes from Lane. Bidwell finds the feed of Sullivan, who's pushed high. A 1-2 with Payne. Sees Sullivan in behind on the right wing. Has Ashby for company. Ashby does well. He's been tenacious in defence for Taruna all afternoon. She clears up the line. Lane gets her head up. Comes back to Ashby. Has McGinn in space. Chooses to clip it forward instead, then to Nixon, who tries to flick through to Lane. It's tackled by Bidwell. Payne now playing on the right wing with Sims having come on for foot. And King, a rasping ball out to Capel, who slips in. Knight, will this be goal number 3? The flag, no. The official is blown for offside, though there was no flag from the linesman. Made his own call on that one. No, there was maybe a bit of communication perhaps over the radios. Nonetheless, the result is the same. It's a Taruna ball. So Milne into midfield for Taruna. Clipped in behind. Then Sims launching forward, a lovely ball. And Sims continues on her merry way from the last time these two met. Drives home a 7th for the Devonport Strikers. 7th heaven early in the second half. A composed little dink over the top. The offside trap sprung by Sims. An assist for King. A goal for Sims. The procession continues. The Devonport Strikers pile on the misery for Taruna. Nixon, the midfielder, playing up top for Taruna at the moment. Parcell on the right, Lane on the left. McGinn. Walker and Milne in midfield. Walker touches around Emmett nicely and then looks to curl one in. Only as far as Mitchell. He picks up comfortably and rolls to King. A wonderful technical group in midfield for the Devonport Strikers enables them to play such easy football on the eye. As Atavi reads that one best. White deflects. Capel heads. Ashby. Back to Gale. McGinn. Touches to Ashby. Walker tries to shield it. Her touch sees the ball go out. And a throw to Taruna. Very warm afternoon here at Valley Road. Won't surprise to see some of the players tire as this 90 ticks on.
Yeah, shoot.
But for the moment, Taruna in trouble again then with Sims in behind Graham Smith. Cuts inside Ashby. Can Sims find the finish? She does. It's 2 in a matter of minutes for the youngster. Grace Sims now has 5 in 2 games against Taruna. The second half substitute. A devastating entry into this fixture. That makes 8. It was 10 last week for South Hobart against Taruna, and there is plenty of time in this fixture for the Devonport Strikers to add to their tally. An exercise in arithmetic now as the Strikers look to see how many they can add. Sims' introduction proving problematic for Taruna. The ball from Sullivan thudded into Payne. Fujiara fights for it. Forward from Milne, then Lane, Sullivan back, bounces it off Hardy, toes towards Nixon, pinched by White, then Lane. The chance here, Parcell then, can she unleash Walker out wide, Walker with a chance, can she pull the trigger from just outside the 18, cuts it back, it's Lane with a chance to score and volleys over the top. The Devonport Strikers exposed at the back for the first time as Taruna, dangerous on the counter. Lane touched inside to Parcell, who was able to find Walker, who fired in a shot come cross, which came to the back post, back to Lane, who then had the chance to volley a goal from about 8 yards out and put it over the bar. Mitchell and Goals grateful to have her clean sheet still intact. To be fair to Taruna, they have threatened to spring that kind of surprise on Devonport throughout the game so far. The first time it's come to fruition there though. 8-0 the score remains. White beautifully touches inside, unleashes a rasping ball out towards Payne. Atavi's done well to read plenty of these balls through. He's playing a high kind of sweeping role there in behind. Did make one terrific save in the first half from Payne, point blank range, which will certainly feature in the Save of the Week highlights. Chance there for Lane to score for Taruna, their highlight of the day. Must be remembered though that Taruna did play much of that first half with only 10 players, suffering injuries to James and their captain Graham Smith. Walker drives forward, tries to find Parcell. Emmett steps in. Hardy and McGinn battle for the ball. Hardy finds Emmett, traps it, comes back to King. Composure from King, whose sister departed the pitch at half-time, Lucy Foote, after a goal in the first half. Her replacement Sims has 2 early on here. Capel takes a bit of a divot out of the ground, I think, there in that pass. Not finding the target. Parcell trying to find Lane, pushed over by King as the ball ricochets, eventually comes to Hannah Graham Smith, and she comes back to Harvey. Parcell still down, the official standing next to her, the player ball not gone out of play. Play forward by Payne, Sims faster than Milne, but Atavi reads it best and Sims crashes into Atavi. Atavi not pleased with the tackle. They knew the score. 2 to Knight, 2 to Payne, 2 to Sims, 1 to Foote. And then a 1 bundled over the line off perhaps White as well in that first half. Another chance for Taruna. King mopping up at the back. He's had an excellent game in defence. Composed, solid, strong. Finding those ranging balls out to the wingers. Incisive passes into midfield. Aaron Bidwell, a strong pairing at centre back for the Devonport Strikers. Towed through from Payne. Knight for the hat-trick. 1-on-1. Can she find the finish? Does. Into the bottom left-hand corner. Atavi advancing towards her. Picked the moment. Drilled it home. And that's 3 for Knight to add to her 2 last week. The Devonport Strikers make it 9. Once again, this fixture all but decided with 9 goals to the Devonport Strikers. Simply pride here to play for Taroona. Undemanded as they are at the Portress, one of the hardest road trips in football in Tasmania. And they still have another half an hour to battle out here to try and limit the damage. Capel in behind this time. Ashby chasing her, squared towards Payne, but Atavi best placed on that occasion. Lane now on it. Sullivan tackles, crunches into her, falls over. Lane retrieves it. Lane towards Nixon. Can't control. Had Hardy for company there, and it'll be a throw into the Devonport Strikers. Alistair Rollington, I'd say, will be well pleased with how the Devonport Strikers have played. They can't control the misfortune that befalls their opposition, and they've just played what's in front of them and have delivered. Ballantyne away, coaching the men's NPL team in Hobart in their Lacus Seljuk Cup fixture. Rollington in charge today, and I dare say pleased with how the girls are going. A tug on White from Walker, makeshift captain, and receives the first yellow card today. A slice of cheese, and it looked like there were 2 slices of cheese there. One for Hardy and one for Walker. Hardy not involved in the tussle there between White and Walker. Walker receiving one for the tug on White, I dare say, but Hardy perhaps for dissent, receiving that yellow card, or perhaps receiving a yellow card for asking for a yellow card for Walker. Either way, 2 slices of cheese, makings of a sandwich there in this game, but it is 9 for the Devonport Strikers as Emmett has been strong left back today into White. Emmett drills it into Capel. Lovely trap of the football. Tries to find Knight then. Knight strongest. An excellent football on Knight. A great pick-up for the Devonport Strikers. Payne then trying to slip it in behind to Knight. Endor Sims. Fujiara. Sullivan gets a toe in. Ashby, who's been energetic. Out to Lane, who had the best chance for Taroona earlier in this second half. Very warm afternoon in Devonport. Bidwell to Hardy tonight. He turns. Gale and then finds Capel in behind, who is flagged for offside. Devonport Strikers not settling for 9, looking to continue to push. White wins it. Back to King, to Mitchell. To King. Up towards Capel. Gale steps in. We're going to have a sub for the Devonport Strikers. It's like Hardy and Capel coming off. Bidwell's going to step into midfield. It looks like Phoebe Mitchell will come on. The Devonport Strikers to play at left back. Emmett will move alongside King. Centre back role, Bidwell into midfield. Lane clips it out, and Mitchell with her first involvement in the game. Has Walker on her tail and just sees it out of play. Gemma Matthews also on for the Devonport Strikers at left wing in place of Cape. King. Mitchell. White. To the feet of Knight, who loses seemingly control of her touch. Into McGinn, who tries to play 1-2 with Walker, not on the same wavelength, and King will watch that one go out of play. The Devonport Strikers will reset with a shuffle in personnel and positions for some players. Bidwell last week stepping into midfield against Launceston United as well when a change was made. I think Phoebe Mitchell went into centre back on that occasion. Bidwell now driving forward, plenty of time and space, picks out Matthews, comes back to Bidwell, turns away. Bidwell getting involved in midfield early on. White, the ball bouncing up her, coming then. Gray Smith does well to tow away. Matthews tries to find Knight, but it only gets to Walker. Walker and Mitchell. Walker has done this a few times, that touch around. White coming across and covering for Mitchell, getting it out of play. Knight for the Devonport Strikers, still 25 minutes or so here to go. Six in the first half. 3 added here in the second half. 2 to Sims and 1 to Knight after Knight's 2 in the first half, giving her a hat-trick. And a more direct ball from King on that occasion. Sims turned and ran, but cleared long from Atavi all the way to her opposite number at the other end. Just takes time. Perhaps looking to draw the Taroona players in. And a long kick up towards Sims. Graham Smith and then Knight. Knight driving forward. Gale across. Knight gets there first. Can she pick out a Devonport striker in the box? Just in between Payne and Sims. Does come to Sullivan, to Bidwell. Tackled by Ashby. Out to Payne. Beats her man on the wing. And then, Knight with a chance to make it 4. In from Matthews, back to White, who side foots from distance, and that one is high and wide on that occasion. That ball will take some retrieving over in the work there for match manager Nick Owen, who trundles over. To move some of the fencing to retrieve that one. They haven't been inaccurate too often today, the Devonport Strikers. On that occasion, White a little bit wayward. And just a total miscommunication there as White now drives in, has a chance to make it a 10. And it is a 10 out of 10 performance here for the Devonport Strikers as White pokes home a total miscommunication. It looked as if the midfielder for Taroona showed feet, but then turned as Atavi went to play it, which just left White to collect the ball and stream into an easy one-on-one. And she slotted home. And the Devonport Strikers continue to heap misery on this Taroona outfit, who are going to have a very long drive back down the highway this afternoon. 10 goals to match the 10 from South Hobart, who were probably the favourites, at least the reigning champions in the WSL. Matthews around Gale. The Devonport Strikers, they're equal today, making a 10. What a lovely ball on the left foot across into the box. It's going to come to Payne, who nearly made it 11. Was flattened after the strike, but got a chance to have the strike away. So the official just allowing the play to go on. Goal kick, but what a ball from Matthews. So inviting for an attacker to run onto that. And the left foot curling in between the defence and the goalkeeper. And then Payne stretching for that one, couldn't get there. Atavi taking time over this one. I'd be surprised if this one comes short in defeat, but it does. They show they've got their patterns of play. Taruna, and full credit to them, they're sticking with them. Ashby. Fujiara. Tackled by White. Sims trying to keep it in. Goal kick. Twenty or so minutes left here for the Devonport Strikers to add to their 10 so far. Ball into Milne, back to Atavi. Then up. Sullivan has it pinched by Lane. Lane. Sullivan recovers, forces the ball out of play.
Your six has got to drop in there. You've got to drop in, mate.
White inside to Bidwell, back to White. Could have come back to Bidwell, took on the player. White slips it down the line towards Payne. Another chance to Devonport Strikers. A lovely little ball there to Sims, who now has a chance to drive into the box. Cuts it back. Ashby falls over. Cleared by Milne. Now Payne. Cleared by McGinn. Stepping in Emmett. Got a kick from Lane, certainly not deliberate. Picks up a yellow card though, it was late. She was swinging to clear the ball. Emmett stepping in front, pinching the ball and copping the force of that attempt to launch the ball clear from Lane, and the official deeming that hard enough foul to earn a slice of cheese, becoming the third player today to earn that yellow card. 2 injuries, 9 goals, 3 yellow cards, the tally today. 10 goals. King into the box, Bidwell best placed, doesn't quite trap it, falls to Matthews, he tries to fire, blocked by McGinn. Towed away by Taruna. The Devonport Strikers nearly making it 11 there. Got a bit of pace coming out of the game now. Things happening a little more slowly, but Devonport Strikers, plenty of time to add to their tally still. Sullivan has White in space, comes all the way back instead to Emmett. Have to switch play. Mitchell with time. Has Matthews high, finds her. Matthews, Gale for company, then McGinn, beats all of them, thuds it against McGinn. Ashby trying to play it out of defence, but instead playing it out of bounds. Fired into the box from Matthews. Oh, Sullivan had the chance to put a strike on goal, bounced off her knees into the arms of Atavi. And then Atavi then bundling into Sullivan. Cries for a foul from the Devonport bench, but nothing happening from the official, and Atavi and Sullivan dapping up after that. Sullivan presumably offside. The linesman eventually flags that one. Sullivan was still recovering from her offside position when the ball was launched forward and looked offside. The linesman slightly slow to flag. (10-0) the score. Walker with a nice idea, trying to flick it through to Nixon. Bidwell reads best, playing in the number 6 position now in midfield instead of at centre back. Walker gets it, has the chance to turn and dink at goals, but was clearly offside. But Taruna continuing to give the Devonport strikers something to think about on the defensive end. Bit misleading to say that Taruna hadn't challenged the time the Devonport strikers coming forward. One excellent chance for Lane earlier in this half. The best chance spurned by them. Bidwell stepping into midfield comfortably here. Then Matthews tries to find Knight, turns it over. McGinn on the left to Lane. Stepping in, Emmett. Sims heads forward. McGinn clears. Then off Milne towards Lane. Sullivan stepping in. Fujura to Lane. A chance. Oh, Nixon looked best placed to win that one. And then didn't. Walker goes in hard on King. A toe in from Bidwell. Out to Parcell. Tackled by Mitchell. McGinn's effort a little tame on the left foot. And Mitchell happy to go and collect that one. The throw to Sullivan, who wasn't really watching, but keeper noticing she had a bit of time and space and launched the ball in her direction regardless. Lovely ball down the right wing from Sullivan. Finding Payne. Fujara square in towards Sims. Oh, and the keeper takes her out. That has to be a penalty. The keeper coming out towards the ball, didn't get it. Sims streaming into the box, she didn't get the ball either. The ball was past both of them, but once the ball was passed, Otavi clattered into Sims. And there was no doubt in any of the watching fans' minds that that was a penalty. Otavi receives a yellow card, the fourth player to receive that today. As Knight, it looks, has the responsibility of taking the penalty. She has 3 already to make it 4 and 11 for the Devonport strikers. As Valley Rose draws a collective breath, they await the whistle for Knight to make it 4. For her, 11 altogether. And it's saved by Atabi. The penalty kick a little lame. Atabi has made some excellent saves today, and that one perhaps now the pick of it. Having to go low to her left, read the penalty kick well. The penalty lacked a bit of direction and pace, and I'm certain if Knight had her time again, she'd certainly pick a different spot or power the ball differently. A little uncertain in the strike. Fatigue perhaps on a warm day playing part in that, who knows, but Knight has been excellent all day, but on that occasion Otavi getting the better of her. Devonport strikers had 11 at their beck and call there, but it was not answered, and instead the score remains at 10. But they have been ruthless today, and they certainly won't be resting on their laurels. As Emmett sees the ball out of play, holding Nixon at bay. Quick throw back to King, who's going to have to switch the ball. And a lovely spread of the ball from Mitchell out towards Matthews. He's going to have to come back to Mitchell. Mitchell then to King. And King's been pressured a bit better in this second half. Perhaps a plan from Taruna. She hasn't been given the opportunity to take time and space to deliver those raking diagonals that she is so expert at. Knight then, looking to make amends for the missed penalty. Plays it forward, Matthews chasing, Gale to it first, chops back. Has nowhere to go really here. Holds onto the ball, does well, Gale. Back to Graham Smith. Pings it into McGinn. Bidwell steps in. Lovely from Bidwell. Then to White, then to Knight. Oh, and a great ball out to Sullivan, nearly intercepted. Sullivan then looking to play through to Sims or Payne. But the ball comes back. Then White, then King. Now has time. And unleashes the longer ball past Gale. Now Matthews with time and space, but the flag goes up. Matthews had plenty of time to see that ball coming to get herself into a position that was onside. The linesman, eagle-eyed, noting that Matthews found herself in an offside position, and Taruna keep it at 10. Check into the last throws of the afternoon here. The sun waning at Valley Road. The score 10. Knight driving forward again. To Matthews then. Oh, what a lovely ball back in tonight. A little reverse pass. A great idea from Matthews. Knight maybe not even expecting it, and the touch was a little heavy. Mitchell driving forward from left back. White. Knight tries to turn. Does well to hold off Ashby. Ashby gets a toe in. Mitchell. Matthews. Knight. Fancy feet from Knight. Now a chance to find White, but cut out. Parcell long up towards nobody in particular, and then King. Bidwell. Emmett, who stepped in from left back to centre back after some changes in personnel. The ball over the top then. Sims onside. Will this be 11? Bounces off the knee. Atavi's going to get there. She does well, Atavi. The touch from Sims got away from her, bouncing off her knee. A little awkward to control, and she'll be kicking herself. Hat-trick opportunity in front of her. But Atavi doing well, advancing on the poor touch, allowing Taruna to clear. But the danger not away yet. Matthews roaming over to the corner. So this a change. Knight's been taking the corners, but Matthews a second half substitution. He's delivered some already excellent balls in play with that left foot. Now looks to deliver from the corner. Bit of a miss kick, and that one will go out harmlessly for a goal kick. Payne with the throw. Another corner. Two more substitutions from the Devonport Strikers, giving players a rest, though they do have a 2-week break, the bye next week for the Devonport Strikers, before they then meet Riverside in the WSL, a team they've already beaten pre-season. The way Devonport have been playing, racking up the victories, they will be disappointed probably to have a week off. But the rest, I'm sure, is also welcome on weary bodies early in the season as the scramble in the box continues. Bidwell poking around. Can she unleash a shot here? Bidwell, she toes one in, and it is 11 for the Devonport Strikers. They say to South Hobart, anything you can do, I can do better. They go one better than South Hobart. That's 11-0. South Hobart defeating Taruna 10-0 last week, and Bidwell now on the score sheet. She celebrates with her teammates. Bidwell stepping into midfield in this second half. And now battling away, battled and battled and battled in that 6-yard box till the ball eventually fell to her, towing it with the outside of her right foot past the despairing Atavi. And that is 11. A statement victory from the Devonport Strikers. Taruna don't have the luxury of a bye next week. They'll be up against a strong Kingborough Lions outfit. Long forward then, but cleared away by Atavi. So the Devonport Strikers have introduced the new players onto the pitch. Despite the changes, the goals still coming. Mitchell, out to Matthews. A raking left foot pass aimed at Sims. Not going to find anyone. Pausing players, we tie a shoelace. Play back underway. Atavi. Into midfield. White first to it. Open for the Devonport Strikers. She left it for Bidwell, who left it for her, but eventually White recollects. Man on there, Smith, the new player onto the field. Two Smiths introduced there. Emily Smith and Mia Smith. That ball in towards Knight. Now can she make it 4? She does. It's now 4 and 12 altogether for the Devonport Strikers. Knight making up for the penalty miss. Now collects her 4th in this decided romp by the Devonport Strikers. It is 12. The superlatives are exhausted here at Valley Road for this performance. The scoreline speaks for itself. Yes, their opposition have had difficulty, they've had players injured, they've had players off the field for periods of time, meaning they had to play with 10 players, but the Devonport Strikers have pulled no punches as they continue to drive forward. Sullivan, one of those second half subs, making a difference. She's already scored 2 and earns a corner. Five minutes left. Knight back over this one. Knight fires it in low. Bounces high. Smith challenges. Another corner. And that one a bit skew-if from Knight. Be a goal kick for Taruna, who are counting down the minutes. Taruna sticking to a style of play, continuing to try and play it out, playing short from the goal kicks. Trying to get it to the wings or into the feet of midfielders. Build up play. The Devonport Strikers have been stronger and faster and more accurate. And as a consequence, the scoreline reads the same number as that on the back of Abby White, who's just given the ball away. Wins it back. Toes it away. Walker then. Sims. Towards Smith. Smith then with Fujura. They push each other. Smith comes up first, gets it into the box, but not many home. Knocking on the door, but no one home on that occasion for Smith. This player's tyre. Lane. King steps in. Nixon. Off Emmett. Bidwell. Goes all the way back, and the Devonport Strikers have a chance to reset. Mitchell, a chip out wide to Matthews, lays it back to Mitchell. Then inside to Bidwell, whose touch is a little heavy, gets away with it, steps around, Parcell. Back to King, who has Smith out wide, who's come on. From Bidwell then. Sims. Free kick to Devonport. So we tick into the final minutes of this fixture. King stepping forward. from centre back to take this one. Numbers in the box. The Devonport have scored a few from scrambles here and plenty from close range today. Ball's cut back as well as those scrambles. Kings launch another one low and hard, trying to catch the keeper out there. Corner ball. No one suspecting the shot there perhaps from King, given the angle, but tried to sneak that one in there anyway. Hit the laces, low and hard. Atavi was awake to the deception though. King loves that little shift, the fake and then turn away into the box. Could have been Atavi's, but Gale's cleared it. Someone's fallen over in the box. The whistles has rung around Valley Road. We're waiting to see what the decision is. Ashby's fallen over onto the ball. Official talking with Taroona players. It's an indirect free kick in the box. Not sure what the infringement was, but we are going to have an indirect free kick in the box. He marches out 10 yards for the wall. An interesting proposition, this. Rare in football these days. The indirect free kick. Let's see what the Devonport Strikers have in the playbook for such an occasion. Is it just a direct shot on target, a cut back to King, who's got all the space to drive it home, and 13, some would say it's unlucky, but today the Devonport Strikers have had everything go their way as they march forward in this fantastic season that they've started to the sound of 13-0. Will live long in the memory of these players and of the fans who are here to see it today. A rare scoreline at such a high level, but the Devonport Strikers have proven a step above their opposition today, though they might be in the same league, figuratively speaking. The Devonport Strikers are in a different league than Taroona. Mitchell goes long. Grace Sims still sniffing out that hat-trick. The ball bounces. Here she goes. She's got 3 to beat. Can she get past them? She can't. Ashby does well. Back to Sims. She'll get tackled by McGinn. Gale clears. Up towards Emmett. To Bidwell. Comes back to Emmett. Or comes back to King. King has Mitchell if she wants her. Drives it instead forward low. Emmett toes. And the official brings the game to a conclusion. A dominant 13-0 performance here on this Easter weekend. We knew it might take a bit of a miracle for Taroona to turn around the 5-0 loss they suffered here 2 weeks ago. But there was no Easter miracle for Taroona today. The Devonport Strikers instead taking full advantage, netting a stunning 13 goals in an all-round team performance. Impossible to pick best players today, given the contributions of every player on the field. Taroona at times had to play with only 10 players on the pitch. They suffered injuries to key players and they battled on bravely, but they were quite simply outclassed by a formidable Devonport Strikers outfit. It finishes 13-0 at Valley Road in this round of 16 Football Tasmania Women's Statewide Cup match. And the Devonport Strikers march on to the quarterfinals.
No extra time? No play on?
No.